Happened in the 90s.
Oh, mama, don't feed me no bologna. I don't want no ham and cheese. I want something hot and hearty. I want a manwich, please.
Don't feed me no bologna.
Oh yeah, I want a manwich, please. No, I'm not talking turkey. I want a bigger deal. Don't feed me just a sandwich. I want a manwich meal.
Don't feed me no bologna.
Oh, I want a manwich meal.
Mama, don't feed me no bologna.
Oh yeah, I want a manwich meal.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we're dripped out, Steve.
Tripped out.
The only thing that you need to be doing in 2020 is just being just flossing to the fullest extent.
Man, we gonna get there.
This is what we spend our money on.
Yeah, man. And
fuck the bullshit, Steve, because I watched the original Ninja Turtles movie from 1990, I believe it came out.
Mhm.
And I mean, I will argue with somebody who says it doesn't. I say it holds up. I feel like it's a good quality movie. So
yeah, man. I didn't know what is his name? Sam was in that movie. The one guy, Sam Rockwell.
it's hilarious to see because it's just, I guess Sam Rockwell's looked the same his whole life. And in this, he's just sort of like a guy with like a puby mustache. Kind of like the oldest guy that hangs out with because the Foot Clan like recruits young street kids,
Yeah.
So they'll come in, there's arcade games everywhere, they got cigarettes for you, pool tables, you can do whatever. You just gotta be cool with Shredder. And at one point in the movie, Sam Rockwell's like ushering some new kids in. It's very wild. I gotta say, Sam Rockwell, even as like, I hope he was 18. He looked significantly older than that, but they were trying to play him as if he was some sort of teenager. But he was killing it back then. Still killing it. I love me some Sam Rockwell.
I fucks with Sam Rockwell. It was the Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. After watching that, I was like, yeah, this dude goes hard.
That movie is fucking straight, like unknown. People don't know about how good that it even exists, really, but that shit goes hard as fuck. George Clooney, that guy's a pimp, and he like can direct a good ass movie.
Fucks with the Clooneys. And not enough people know about that game show host, the crazy life that he led, man.
Yeah, it is a wild one. Because I mean, he was out there saying this shit. At a certain point, like he wrote the book. Like he was just telling people, like, I was in the CIA killing people. That was my thing.
Yeah.
That's wild because it's like nobody can say anything. Nobody can say it. They're not gonna like argue you.
It's the government.
They're just like, they'll just let it go. But he was on TV shows, radio shows talking about it. And I mean, they made a fucking awesome fucking movie out of that shit. Maybe he was. I would like to believe that.
While fucking spying on people and shit. That's crazy, man. And spying on people and recording game shows in the daytime.
Yeah, like really wacky. Like it was just like this if it was like, it'd be like essentially like Pee Wee doing that shit, like something like that almost.
Jesus.
How was your Christmas?
Christmas was cool, man. I didn't do much. Me and my girl, Tanya, we exchanged gifts and we watched the shitty Matrix. Once again, some things are better off left alone. I mean, I would like to get 2.5 hours of my life back. And I mean,
I plead to that. I wanted it to be good so badly, Steve. I didn't go in with any, I don't go into a movie wanting to shit on it, especially that, because 2 out of those 3 movies were dope. I didn't remember liking the last one, but, it happens. 2 out of 3 is not bad. But this new shit, what I didn't like was that they knowingly did it and even like made fun of the fact they were remaking the movie in the movie. So they were like basically telling you fuck you in the movie and then just doing that shit. And I didn't care for that.
Yeah.
You know, spoilers.
They did have Doogie, but they didn't have Lawrence. And they didn't have Lawrence because this isn't the 90s. This isn't the same Lawrence. I mean, if you're going to have Orpheus, it's probably best to have the original actor. But man, Lawrence is a grandfather now, and he just doesn't look the part. I understand why they had a much younger guy play Orpheus, but that's also why you should have left the shit alone.
But also, I don't get why they didn't use him, because they made Jada Pinkett Smith look unrecognizably old in this movie.
Totally unrecognizable.
So even if, I mean, he has obviously, he's gained a little, he's become an older guy. So he's not the Morpheus we know and love, but I mean, from all accounts, nobody was. So put him in the movie. Don't show me a clip of the movie he was in to remind me how good that was in the movie I have to watch now. I just thought these are things I don't like, Steve.
He's got Blackish to tape, man. I mean, they're in their final season. And
that's more important, honestly. Go for that. That's a way better product. So yeah. I get it. I get why he didn't come back.
He probably looked at that script and he was like, well, shit, I'm a fat grandpa. I'd rather be a fat grandpa. Hey, that shit came out in like 98, 99. It's 2021, goddamn it. 2022. I'm about to go to 2022.
It's going to keep happening. I talked about that Ninja Turtles thing. They're in the midst of making another one of those. And, you know,
live action, though. Not is it the CGI shit? It's in that same vein.
I hope if it's live action. I mean, when you see the first movie, why not try it? If they could do it in the 90s, I can't imagine that technology is more expensive than using computers. That shit's expensive as fuck.
I think I told you about my dream Turtles remake, Peter Jackson. I think Peter Jackson, he would do that shit justice because he would do it real life. He wouldn't get too far involved into that CGI shit. I feel like he would have to touch it a little, but he would put more focus on the actual factuals. And I think because he's so seasoned in doing this shit, man, I think they would be great detail. If he did a Baxter Stockman, I think he would go so far into like the eyes and how like intricate the patterns in the eyes would be, and the wings and the shit would be that it would have a sense of vulgarity. That's my envisioned Peter Jackson Turtles remake. At this
point, why not make an R-rated or like one that goes hard as fuck? Because I mean, it's like everybody knows
for us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody. Really, it's for the people that are our age that grew up with it. Yeah. They make them for kids so they can make the toys and shit, but that would be sick.
Hey, but if Daddy likes it, Junior will probably like it too.
You'll get to see it. I got to see Speed when I was 10 or whatever, you know. So you get to see some shit.
Look at what Christopher Nolan did to the Batman franchise. He went dark. It was surreal. I feel like Peter Jackson could give it that same vibe, man. Because Turtles, yeah.
I was just gonna say, what is Peter Jackson up to right now? Because that guy for a while was just killing it. I mean, it was all Lord of the Rings based, but that shit, if you don't like that, I get it's long, but that shit is fucking sick as hell.
It won a shit ton of awards.
Yeah, that last one did. After they got to the third one, people you couldn't deny that shit.
I mean, you might have answered your own question. He did Lord of the Rings.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're making a show, like an Amazon Prime show, and he's making that. So he might have just gone back to the well on that. And if that's the case, to go for it. I'm in.
He can, man. Like, does he make a cut off of the merchandise and shit too?
Oh, dude. I don't know. I'm that guy got paid. I feel like everybody that was like the core cast and crew of that, they got paid out the ass.
Yeah. Our boy Elijah Wood, yeah, he's done some stuff here and there, but for the most part, shit, man.
That dude stayed busy. That guy was in some funny. That guy, remember that show where he was like walking around with like an imaginary dog guy?
Wilford.
That shit was hilarious.
It was, yeah.
It was good.
FX, man. FX. And I think I need to address, man, hey, we're doing things as usual. We couldn't go live. I had faith that we could pull it off, man. I believe in us. I got Matt and I got Google on my side. Man, we can make it happen.
Well, I will say, Steve, it did crash the computer, but
yeah,
I got it. I got everything back, and I did reload the program out of curiosity. And it might not be a dead thing. That might have been something else that did that. So we'll not kill the idea. But yes.
Oh no.
I thought we had a catastrophic failure, to be honest, because when the computer shut off and I couldn't get it back on and everything's on it, I don't know anybody that's listening has ever had that happen before, but you have a little bit of a panic attack. I didn't handle it well immediately. So thankfully we're good, but yeah, sorry about the no live stream. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah. Well, it's got to go down some way, somehow, man.
Those album covers you were sending over the holidays, though, please print it out so I can put it behind me. We have to show the world that shit.
Are you ready? Do you want me to show them?
Show them. I mean, show them now, please.
So this is what we've been working on.
Yeah.
This is the blown up version. It's a young Mac, happened in the 90s, Illmatic. Some people call him Machete Getty, but yes, it's a retouch of the classic Illmatic, the Nas debut album. Yes,
I love it.
We also have another fan favorite, The Chronic.
I mean, that's a real deal. That's a t-shirt right there, Steve.
Yeah.
I want that on this. I need a hoodie, a white hoodie with that on it immediately.
Special edition zigzags.
That's it. I think we just found our product, Steve. Happened in the 90s zigzags, papers.
Yeah, papers, shirts, and hoodies. And you know, I gotta say this, man. We're gonna talk about a gentleman. We've discussed him prior. He's known for a couple of things. He's most famous for his role on Married with Children, and his name is Ted McGinley. We're gonna talk about the introduction of his character on the show. And man, of all the people that we're going to talk about and have talked about on this show from the 90s, he's probably the closest threat to John Stamos. I can't, even as a kid, I was like, man, this dude's got it. I hadn't figured it out, but like, man, bitches like this motherfucker. He's got it. I don't know if he's fucking with Uncle Jesse.
2 generations of a family in this episode.
You see what I mean?
I didn't know, we're going to get into it, but it was a very straight, he was just like, I don't know what happened, because there was another man that was involved on that side of Married with Children, right? There was like a nerdy guy.
His name was Steve.
Steve.
Her initial husband.
Okay, so I wasn't tripping or anything, and I was like, man, I thought this guy had been in since the impetus, and then I did remember Steve. I guess I don't know what happened there. Maybe you can educate me, but this guy definitely appeared to be a '90s cocksman. Yeah, I felt kind of verklempt when I was watching it. So, I mean, I can only imagine, like I said, he almost fucked a bunch of women on this one episode. So I can only imagine 10 years of this. Who knows? Man,
I'm totally comfortable with my sexuality. I give props where it's due. And, if you look at, the textbook, what women find attractive, the motherfucker's got it. And, it's easy to hate him.
He just looks like he's in like a JCPenney commercial. Like he's just one of those guys that's like laughing near a fountain while he's wearing like a Coogee sweater or something, It's one of those things.
In this episode, he was rocking a polo.
I mean, he's fun. And dude, I will get into it. There was some confusion on the description that I want to clarify with you. And but yeah, this guy, I wonder what his numbers are. I mean, let's get him on the show and just be like, hey, what's his name?
Ted McGinley.
Ted, what are we talking? Will Chamberlain? Or are we talking those kind of the numbers? Where are we at?
Well, I mean, I don't think he surpassed Uncle Jesse, and Uncle Jesse's got Will Chamberlain numbers. So, he might be. It's like 1A and 1B.
You just wonder, is he happy, Steve?
He's got to. The man's been working, Matt, and he's always been this fucking handsome stone face, booty chin motherfucker. Even still to this day. I looked at his M-dub. The motherfucker has just about 100 credits to his name, man. And he's got shit going on up till 2021.
What is going? We're in like the center of the 90s retro hurricane right now, where we're in that cycle where they're taking stuff. The thing from a decade is hot again. So I guess, I mean, it's Stamos though. I don't know, other than being the hot guy, like, is that all he's doing? Is he in like a show? Is he acting, or is he just being like John Stamos? You know?
You talk about John Stamos, the actual guy?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't he on a Disney show?
I thought he was on Fuller House. You're saying he's got a locked and loaded career for the next year. You said he has like active shit going on. I'm just
no, I was talking about Ted. I was talking about Ted McGinley.
Ted fucking McGinley, whatever his name is.
Yes, fucking Jefferson D'Arcy.
Man, I mean, clearly he's just out there because he's just he's a hot older white guy at this point. There's only a few. You see what Al Bundy looks like right now.
Still getting work though.
With all due respect, and that guy could kick my ass. He's like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt and shit. So no disrespect to Al Bundy, but I'm just saying Jefferson still looking like he's out there, just slaying.
Straight up, man.
No, I used to be on the cover of a JC pen. Look at this guy. That's even more crazy.
Exactly.
He's like the headshot, like a haircut book that they have at the salon, where it just shows you examples of haircuts. This guy's that beautiful.
This is what they taught me in Perrysburg of what handsome was. Not this. And that's the problem. Like, and see, this is how I learned at an early age. They taught me that this is, and they're not lying, but like, it's
that doesn't seem real. This seems like unattainable, Jefferson or Ted.
And it's not fair. It's not fucking fair. In my adolescent self in Perrysburg High School, I can't attain this. Damn it. That fucks with a kid's mind. It's kind of like the Black My Buddy story I shared with you, man. Like, damn it.
I went back to that. And I was just like, that was one of those things I never would think of. But looking back, that's fucked up, guys.
It's fucked up, man. They should have gave him a commercial.
Yeah. I mean, God, put him in it. You're showing the line. You don't got to just show one. Show what I can get. I thought that was it, Steve.
And my buddy had a kid sister. Same story. Kid sister. The Caucasian kid sister. She's got a commercial. Kid sister, wherever I go. Same story. Where's the black kid sister?
Who made that, Steve? Do we have a company on that?
Some fucking assholes.
Mattel? Was it Mattel? Maybe.
Let's peeper. I'm
just saying, let's call them out. Because that's fucked up. But again, I would have never I didn't want those because it made me think of Chucky, which was around and probably based off of that doll.
It reminded me of Chucky too. I didn't give a fuck.
I didn't like that.
I was an 80s baby, and that was what was popping. Outside of NES, it was that. And for girls, it was Cabbage Patch. And shit, I wanted me a My Buddy. And it's made by Hasbro.
Oh, Hasbro. Where's somebody take them to Twitter? Get them.
Man.
Call them out. But also, Ted, come on. What's going on here? Why with this hair, with this fucking highlights? Who are you trying to fool, Ted?
And I'm sure he rubbed elbows with Ric Flair, man, back in the day. He was
he was hanging out with like Andre Agassi, party guys.
He was Stan Gable, the antagonist in Revenge of the Nerds, and his whole collective, that was kind of like the Four Horsemen. That's how I always looked at him. Like the ogre dude was like Arn Anderson, and you know what I mean. And he was the Ric Flair. So yeah.
Goddamn, That's a good in comparison. And
like
Ogre, that almost he needs to play him in a fucking movie of some kind. We need to make a fucking Four Horsemen movie and just, drip it out with that guy. But this guy, I can't place where I've seen Ted. Ted is all over the place, but I don't remember him from anything other than Married with Children and Revenge of the Nerds. So
he was in Happy Days as well. He was in like the last season or two. Exactly.
How much fucking money does this guy need?
The man's been around drip. He was around the Fonz, and I'm sure he was kicking it with the Four Horsemen in the 80s.
Dude. Well, I mean, he was like Peg almost fucked him. He was ready to fuck what's her face, the daughter, and he got Marcy, who I gotta say, I mean, Marcy, for all she looks like a secretary, she could get it. She's hot.
Yeah, at this point.
Yo, from our home studio, it's Ricky and D. Now my man Rick,
a serious burger lover,
is doing a blind taste test of McDonald's new McLean Deluxe sandwich.
Yo, man, the taste is going boom.
McDonald's is the only one with this 91% fat-free lean beef
Wait,
patty.
hold up, 91% fat-free? Nah, man,
Straight up.
the taste is kicking.
And it's a serious value.
The new McLean Deluxe, 100% down.
On taste.
On taste. Word up.
McDonald's today.
Well, hey, we miss you guys. This is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, season 2 premiere.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
And if no one's told you, this is a show where we talk about things that happened in the 90s. So get out your Dominique Wilkins jerseys and your Nancy Kerrigan shirts because it's happened in the 90s, happened in the 90s. Introduction of Jefferson D'Arcy, yes, I tell you, brother.
Oh, that was beautiful, Steve. I love that.
Frank would be proud.
But yeah, Married with Children. We're in season 5 of Married with Children at this point. So we went 5 seasons and Jefferson's just showing up now near the tail end of season 5. That's wild.
That's right, man. We're going to be talking about this guy right here behind us. Man, so you remember him more than the Steve guy. And Steve was there, I want to say, up to season 5.
I don't know why, but yeah, when I think of the show just in general, I think of him. But then when I was sitting there watching the episode this morning just to take notes, I was like, there was like a guy that he just had like brown hair, kind of smarmy, kind of nerdy looking, and his name was Steve, I guess.
Kind of looked like Doogie's dad.
Yeah,
Coach
yeah,
Dave.
Exactly. He did kind of look like that.
He's in that group, yeah.
But he, I don't, for whatever reason, he doesn't attach to the show. So yeah, I thought this motherfucker was in it at least from season 2.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
Well, I think they were 11 seasons total. So from season 5 through season 11, all the way through, man. So I think he had the hugest
clearly
part,
the fascia. I mean, this guy comes in and his character right from the start is what I remember. Him just kind of being like a sort of friendly scumbag.
Yeah.
You know?
And we wasted no time finding out that is the case. Yes, today, boys and girls, we're going to be talking about all things January 6th, up in the 90s, up in the 90s. Wow. January 6th, 1991, Married with Children airs the 12th episode of their 5th season called Married with Who? After a wild night at a banker convention, Marcy wakes up and discovers that she's married to a strange man named Jefferson D'Arcy, played by Ted McGinley, with a dark past, and things get worse when Marcy and Jefferson put their trust in Al and Peg for a proper wedding. Let's rock.
See, the description I had indicated that Jefferson was a gigolo, and I pulled it off IMDb, so I went into this thinking he was a man-ho, and then I got confused when that didn't happen in this, Steve. So right away, I just got to say something happened in my interpretation of this.
Oh.
But you know, it is what it is. He's not, and I realize that now. So I just wanted to let you know and let everyone know that maybe sometimes don't trust IMDb to give you a description of a show because it might get weird.
Maybe IMDb has too much information. They wanted to give you some insight on the real performer's life. Ted McGinley was probably sharing that thing for a little change. You know, I know you see me on the videos. True. I know you see me. He's a slut. He's a hoe. He's a freak. Got a different hoe every day of the week. So we're at the Bundy household. Al's sitting on the couch staring into space while his kids are taking turns shooing him out. Then they move it to the kitchen, and then Peg sits next to him to snap him back to reality, per usual. She asks him, "What color is my hair?" He says, "Red." "And who would you rather spend the night with? A, your wife, or B, B?"
Yeah, and it's just classic Al. You know, everybody wants his money. That's really what all the ear beating is about. But Peg, I mean, Peg is just so hot. This is just some like white trash inside me, but I don't know how he's ignoring it, but he is. He goes to his happy place, Steve, which we realize sometime later that it's his retirement spot that he's just daydreaming about getting away from all these scumbags.
It's Lake Chicopompo.
We're gonna have a great time trying to do that. But Peg, as always, that voice snaps him back to reality. He's obviously very distraught. And then Marcy bursts in a bathrobe, which, I mean, why not?
She walks into there with her robe, and she remembers waking up with a man in her bed. She doesn't remember what he looks like, but apparently she's married to him now.
Yeah, and I guess she said that the only thing she remembers is from a shirt that says something about a wedding chapel. It's called Clyde's No Blood Test Needed Wedding Chapel. So mistakes happen, which can happen. You black out every once in a while. Something happens like this. So what concerned me was she said the guy was face down in the bed. So I'd be like, is the dude dead? Like, what's going on here? How much of a party was it?
One of Steve's cousins? Not again.
God damn it, guys. Chill out. But yeah, she's married. There's some guy in her bed, and she just doesn't know what to do.
And then the guy on the door. Yeah. And in walks Ted McGinley, Mr. Stan Gable himself, and he's looking for the woman that he married last night. He looks around the room and at each woman present, and he just knows that it has to be Kelly. And before he heads out with her, Peg stops, and she says, like, "Your wife is me."
Yeah, Ted's getting confused, or Jefferson's getting confused. But I gotta say, he's very composed for a guy that's walking in out of a blackout. He does look like a golf pro, fresh off the, shooting some golf, and just concerned how much alcoholism is going on at these fucking sales conventions or whatever the fuck it was, because people are really doing some damage, Steve.
Yeah, these bankers conventions get tough, man. What the fuck? And then Marcy finally steps in, and she's like, "Oh, I'm your wife." And he's like, "Oh, I remember you. You were the one on top of the banker girl pyramid." And he introduces himself again, this time sober, as Jefferson. So we realize that the man that she married, his name is Jefferson. And I don't know, something just doesn't sit well with Marcy. So she has to have a talk with Peg in the kitchen. And, she needs some advice. And Peg's not trying to hear any of that shit. She's not trying to hear anything Marcy's saying. She's like, "He's gorgeous. Who gives a fuck?
Get some dick."
And while this is going on, Jefferson is having a convo with Al, and Al's just like, "Run." But don't you think she's cute, Al? Get out!
Yeah.
We find out that Jefferson's last name is D'Arcy.
Yeah, Marcy's not too happy to hear about that either. Marcy D'Arcy, but it does kind of have it has a joie de vivre to it. I kind of like it. It rolls off the tongue, but she doesn't seem too happy about that. And but Peg does lay this weirdly just sad piece of advice on Marcy, because she says something about, you got 3 weeks of happiness tops with somebody. And usually that happens at the beginning of a relationship. And when you get married, it's far gone. But you just got married. So enjoy the 3 weeks of happiness you get before this all turns to shit. You're listening to him take a dump instead of him hiding it, shit like that.
Yeah, get your funky off, girl.
Yeah, dude. But Marcy is, obviously Jefferson's kind of nice on the eyes, Steve. And eventually he does lay like a smacker on her. And then obviously then the tables turn a little bit.
A smacker on her. They were full-blown foreplay in the Bundy living room. I think they're one of those exhibitors.
Yeah, they didn't get shy, but I would. They're out there. I wouldn't do it. It's a little rude. But it may. Honestly, you might get into a little swing sitch. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Let it continue.
Put more focus on Peg though, and Marcy doesn't even remember the wedding. She doesn't even remember the wedding.
I blacked out that night.
And instantly light bulbs go off in Al and Peg's head. As Marcy and Jefferson count out their cash, she's got $2,000 saved up, and Jefferson has $40. So cha-ching, yes, we're gonna cash in on $2,040. Al, he volunteers to have the wedding in his backyard. Oh my God, so fortunate. I wish I could have my wedding in the budding backyard. Yeah,
this is a balls because basically Al's like, we're taking the money. We're gonna get that money. We're getting that $2,040. That's coming to us for the backyard. Which to want to rip your fucking neighbors off, Al. It might not be a great idea.
Yeah, that's Al Bundy.
Very unhinged, obviously, but Al, he's about to get that cash, Steve. He's got to pay that
$40. I had to, Matt. I had to.
$40.
Yeah, I couldn't let the opportunity pass.
But so they make some kind of agreement, and Al's out there trying to pinch every goddamn penny out of this wedding that he can. Yeah. They're planning it. He's trying to get some like beaks and some claws delivered. That's the cheapest option. I can't say I'd want to hit that buffet up, but saving some money.
To Jefferson, they look like completely trustworthy people. Perfectly, he says.
They about to get that cash, Steve.
And they've already spent it in their heads. Peg's daydreaming about being rubbed down in Hawaii after her husband falls into a volcano, while Al just has the Andy Griffith theme song playing in his head as his wife dies in a rock quarry. Pretty graphic, both of them.
So, there's some problems going on in that relationship, Steve, but maybe they'll get solved with that extra $2,000 that they're about to make off this fucking cheap ass wedding.
Yeah. Somebody else having problems is Jefferson, because he has a one-on-one with Al and says that if Marcy comes asking about him, he's out shopping for her gift, when in reality, he's got to go visit his probation officer.
God damn it.
Wow.
Jefferson, what'd you do? Is it some investment banking scheme? What happened?
Yeah, he stole a bunch of money from people who trusted him. And he wants to make sure that Al keeps it between the two of them. And Al says, no problem. As soon as Jefferson leaves, he spills the beans to Peg. They play a little poor game of charades, a horrible game of charades. They were better off not calling it charades. And you don't speak in charades when you're playing charades. So there's that. But Al's giving out his clues, and he's like, this is where Jefferson was before he married Marcy. It sounds like kizun, kizun. And she's like, kizun, kizun. And she's like, what does Jefferson, Pete Rose, and your cousin all have in common? Oh, prison. Jefferson was in prison. Jesus. Does Marcy know? No.
That's some balls, though. Why tell Al that, Jefferson? Just go do your thing. Do some. Let it. Don't do this.
Yeah. Poor judgment of character.
But see, to me, that make me even more scared to rip the guy off. And I think he even says something like, "You're not the kind of guy to slice me up for some beaks and some claws, right?" You know, I'm not gonna get taken out over this, but Al's wheeling and dealing. I guess Jefferson's going to the parole hearing or whatever. And the next day is the day of this fucking wedding. They really turned this around quick, Steve. You got to get that money in the bank. And Al has pinched, again, every penny he can. There were guests that were supposed to be brought. He didn't bring them. He let, what's his face, Bud and Kelly have parties with the wedding that involve like a soccer team and some models, which, I mean, the models, I guess that kind of fits. That's cool. And even, you know, I think Jefferson's into that. But no, there's beaks and claws. The dog is the ring bearer. There's no photographer. Bud's drawn stick figures for the fucking photography. I mean, this shit is it's pretty bad. It's not looking good. And Marcy is furious.
And they're bikers. Somehow bikers ended up.
Yeah, well, I didn't even clock that. Like, why were they there? Did they come with the models?
Yeah, the newspaper models. Who knows the bikers?
They just came, dude. They heard there was a party. Were you gonna ask them to leave?
We came to come. But
so
didn't even invite Marcy's mom.
This ain't a dream wedding. Yeah. And what happened to Marcy's mom? She was supposed to be there. What happened?
I don't know. She died.
Well, Al actually ignored like a phone call, I believe, or he just like didn't get the tickets because part of that money was supposed to bring those guests to the fucking party. But fuck
man, Al, he ain't got time for that shit. He's got wedding rice and wedding pretzels to sell.
Yeah, he looks like a cigarette fucking vendor at like Dick Tracy's club. You know, it looks very weird. I guess it is the 90s, but
yeah, but he did get Captain Hank of all people to marry Jefferson and Marcy. You know, all it took was a issue of Playboy and a bottle of Red Eye. He'll marry a cow to your mom.
Through a CB radio, no less. Like, I mean, you don't even have to be there. As long as you got the equipment.
Marcy wanted Reverend Appleby, and Al says Reverend Appleby has an exorcism in Akron. Yeah. Things happen.
So eventually, like, shit just blows up, right? The wedding ends. Like, basically, this just all stops at a certain point, and Al just sneaks out the back and tells Bud to turn the sprinklers on. We got the check. And again, you know, like, you've ripped your neighbors off. Like, they're right there. I mean, that's some balls, but he is Al Bundy. He don't give a fuck.
But before he leaves, you know, he gives Marcy a present. Here's a present.
What is it, Steve?
Your husband was in jail.
Like, what a fucking dick. At this point, he's lucky Jefferson just doesn't pull a gun out and just shoot his ass. I mean, he's completely fucked the situation up. It's over. You'd think. So we cut to the next day. Al really is not concerned about this. They did it. They grifted these people. He's looking at a brochure for Lake Chickamauco or whatever the fuck it is.
He doesn't care about shit.
Fuck it.
He left Peg at the airport. Kelly, she went away with the bikers to Wisconsin. Who gives a fuck?
Because he got his fucking lot, like lot 13 at Lake Chickamauco, Steve. He got the lot. He's good to go now. He's the retirement. He can see it.
But here comes Jefferson, the con artist. He comes in to thank Al for betraying his trust. Karma much?
And he seems really like pretty cool with everything. He's got a very cool vibe, which I get. Got that much sex in your life. You're just living that lifestyle. You're just calm.
Yeah. It's just Marcy's going to chew him out for the next 6 seasons.
Yeah. I mean, he is going to have to live a living hell, which Al warned him to run away from. But this guy, I mean, he got the sitch. He's got a marriage now. He's got a house. He's got a great neighbor to hang out with if he can get over the betrayal, which he has seemingly. And Al just is sort of letting it, him vent. And he asked Jefferson, like, what did you go to jail for, dude? Like, he seemed like a nice guy. Like, what happened? And it turns out that Jefferson was actually like fucking just selling these fucking idiots these properties at this lake that's just like a biohazard. These people are idiots. And the place is called what was it called? Lake Chickamakico. And so apparently Al just bought into something that I think they said wasn't going to be livable until the year 5000, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was a crazy number. So I guess that's why Jefferson's so cool with it. He knows he got that big dick flex on and he just walks away
and laughs. Yeah.
Like
karma. It just
you.
makes its terms. Yeah, it just keeps revolving. It keeps.
I mean,
coming
honestly,
back.
from Jefferson's perspective, what do you lose? $40? Like
$40.
That's never not going to be funny, Steve. It's never. No. I'm going to be 100 years old, God willing, and I'm going to laugh at that. It's one of the greatest pieces of acting of all time.
Now, the closing scene is quite hilarious. It's like a dream sequence kind of scene where Al and Bud, they're walking in the Andy Griffith theme song is playing, and they're at the Lake Chickamacaco, and they're walking, and Al's arm falls off, and apparently they both have tails. And Al pats Bud on the head, but winds up taking his hair off, and he's got this huge bald spot. They killed me with the tails.
Yeah, the radiation is real, Steve. So that was hilarious. I didn't remember them going so surreal with Married with Children either, but they gave Jefferson a good episode. And he maintained this same thing. Like they had the character nailed immediately. They found this sexy man and they were like, you're going to be this. You are yourself, basically, but scummy.
He fits the part, man. I don't know about of all time, but of the 90s introductions of a character, it's up there.
Oh, yeah. He's got to be one of the best neighbors in a sitcom, I mean, we don't like Kramer, so I feel like maybe just like public opinion wise, people would say him, but
yeah.
When you talk
better
90s, it's Wilson to me of Home Improvement. Just a sage of wisdom as a neighbor, and then this guy.
Mr. Feeney's up there too. Because same deal.
Bean Dog. He definitely Mr. Matthews.
Who can bring together people everywhere? Oh yeah. Who can put a handful of magic in the air? M&M's can. M&M's can.
Every day across America, people share a smile with M&M's.
M&M's can. Oh, M&M's can.
The milk chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
So have a handful of smiles.
This is my new shit, Matt.
What's that? Beer?
Fucking Angry Orchards, man. It's for when non-alcohol drinking pussies drink beer.
I'm with you, Steve. I'm a girl drink drunk, so the sweeter the alcoholic drink, the better.
Yeah, man.
I'll go on I've gone on record on this show. Cayman Jack. You like margaritas?
Mm-hmm.
Look for Cayman Jack, Steve. It's like a hand grenade of fun. It's just amazing. It's delicious.
I've seen that title around, man.
To me, if I were making the commercial, the mascot would be like a Captain Ron type guy, like a guy who's gonna fuck your wife on a sailboat with an eye patch. You remember Captain Ron.
I do. I got a perfect guy for you. Ryan Doherty. He is the real
Oh
Captain
my
Ron.
God. We're going to Put-in Bay and filming this commercial, Steve.
No doubt.
We have to.
Now, on January 6, 1993, the world lost Dizzy Gillespie, American singer, songwriter, and trumpet player. He was born in 1917, and he died of pancreatic cancer, January 6, 1993, at the age of 75.
I was a fellow trumpeter, so shout out to Dizzy. God, look at that.
That's his trademark. Yeah.
That's against the rules, Steve. That's against the rule. He was going against convention there. You're not supposed to puff the cheeks out.
Well, shit, he did that for decades.
Dizzy Gillespie. What a great name. Dizzy Gillespie.
It's also a reference in a Snoop Dogg lyric. I make your head spin like I was Dizzy Gillespie. You can't face me. It's off of the Doggy Style. Yeah, man. This is for the G's and this is for the hustlers. This is for the hustlers. Now back to the G's.
Oh, what a strange but awesome reference in a rap song. Dizzy Gillespie.
My God.
Pull that out. Like, goddamn. If it wasn't for Snoop Dogg, I wouldn't know who the fuck Dizzy Gillespie was, to be completely honest with, because that's how I've heard the name.
No shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But you've never seen this right here. Like, he's known for this. This is like his trademark.
I was discussing this with my family. For some reason, when I was in high school, I was like clinically embarrassed by the fact that I was in band, to the point that I don't even know why, because I was good at playing the trumpet. But when it came to like learning about it, I didn't do that, Steve. So like they might have taught us about Dizzy Gillespie. I doubt it. It's really sort of, they didn't do a lot of education in Perrysburg, as you know. So,
yeah.
But no, I didn't know about this. But respect to the guy, because trumpet, dude, takes a pimp to play a trumpet, Steve. Let me tell you. And clearly, Dizzy Gillespie got props from another pimp, Snoop Dogg. So it's a full chain. It's a circle. It's a circle of life.
And that following year, January 6th, in 1994, American figure skater Nancy Kerrigan is attacked and injured by an assailant hired by her rival Tanya Harding's ex-husband during the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Why?
Galooly. Dude, Jeff Galooly, if there was a textbook picture of a child molester, he looked like that. Because it was not the fat guy that did it, right, Steve? Jeff Galooly was like the skinny molesty looking guy, correct?
They both had a hand in it, I believe.
Check that. Look at that sweater. Did you fucking beat an old woman and steal her blouse, dude?
Yeah, who were the gay guys that did magic and got bit by the lion? Was it
Siegfried and Roy?
Yeah, it looks like he stole from their wardrobe.
That guy looks like he sniffs panties, Steve.
He looks like he buys pictures of feet.
Hey, those are nice sandals. He just breathes. There's a lot of heavy breathing, you know. I don't like that, but why? This always boggled my mind, even when this happened. That figure, even a thing as tame and as ridiculous as figure skating, could bring this.
Yeah.
It could come to this.
Competition, man. I mean, you'd be surprised. Like there's a documentary series on Netflix. Once again, the fucking documentaries. Where they're talking about sports in each episode that I do not care about. There's like one episode on basketball, but there's an episode on figure skating. There was a scandal in that outside of this one. There's episode on cricket. So just like the nature of human beings, man, when competition is involved and you're striving to be the best, take that number one spot, man, the links people will go through, bro. And this is a clear example. Tanya Harding, she still to this day pleads her innocence, but man, at the end of the day, she's from Michigan. She's from that state up north. And, I'm a little skeptical for, obvious reasons, man. I don't know.
Did you ever see the movie that they made?
It was great.
Yeah. Hell yeah. If that was any indication, I'm surprised she wasn't the person that just pulled a fucking baton out and just beat this bitch, because she seemed batshit crazy. If that's any. And she, after this, she sort of leaned into everything, because she was doing like celebrity boxing and shit too,
And she would get her ass whipped and realize that, maybe this isn't my thing. I've used my celebrity enough. Maybe the well has gone dry. I will say, in fairness, she did live a crazy life, man. Her upbringing was tough. She got her ass beat a lot by her mom. She would get berated for not being the best. If you're not the best, you're irrelevant. That was the mentality. She was a workhorse as a child, man. And also she was in an abusive relationship with Galooly, and her, being around their doofus friend. And I'm familiar with that. You remember Ugly Jason?
Yeah, what was the other guy's name? I forget that fat dude's name, but yeah, Jason.
Louis wasn't dumb though. I liked Louis.
No, not no. I'm no. I'm talking about the fat guy with Tanya Harding.
Well,
so sorry.
Yeah. I also had a friend named Louis who was fat, but he's an intelligent guy. Man, shout out to Louis. Love you, man.
Yeah, shout out Louis. That guy was dope, dude. Louis was one of my first friends in Perrysburg, actually. We hung out before you met him. So
fuck yeah, man. And he's always been the same. Same guy. He just looks like James Hetfield now. I've told him that.
Really?
He does. He totally he I mean, if you remember what he looked like back then, just like his face is like aged, and he looks more profound like James Hetfield.
Do you know who Big J Okerson is?
That name sounds familiar.
He's like a comedian.
Okay.
He wears like Andrew Dice Clay like finger gloves and shit. And he's a bigger dude with like a Louis-ish look, like when we were in college. And I always thought I knew about him back then. Like he's been around for a while, but Louis always reminded me of that dude. He's just like silently, he's very quiet, but he's funny whenever he does talk.
Yeah.
And he had a very signature look. From what I remember. I remember a lot of finger gloves. I remember a lot of glove stitches.
Yeah.
A lot of that. But I mean, hey, power to anybody with style. I didn't have any I had fat guy style, which was like whatever fits. I'll buy 10 of whatever fits. Those polos, those fucking Kohl's polos that are like 5XL. That's yes, please. I'll take 10 of those in navy blue.
Did you remember Polo Assassin? I don't think Polo Assassin was a thing back then, though.
No, I don't remember that shit.
Yeah, Polo Assassin is basically like an enlarged polo. Like whenever you see like the super huge polo looking emblem on, yeah, that's Polo Assassin.
Oh, okay. I got okay, yeah. Got you. Yeah, you know, when you had some limited stuff, but yeah. We were talking about Ugly Jason, so we veered off. What were we talking about? This fucked up friends, the fucked up guy. Who was the fat guy that was in the Tanya Harding crew? I forget that guy's name, but that guy was the scumbag.
Sean Eckhart.
Yeah, that guy, dude. That was the dude. But how wild is it that even fucking figure skating, they could have people like doing dirt like that? I just always thought that was hilarious.
Because you think like Disney like thoughts, like, you know, they're all Tinkerbells and fucking like, you know, Jasmines and fucking Cinderellas and shit. Like they have pure wholesome thoughts.
You don't picture some mom like ripping a butt like, you fucking loser, hit the triple Lutz, bitch,
with a parrot on her shoulder.
Dude, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Tanya Harding ended up getting more fame than Nancy Kerrigan. Nancy Kerrigan kind of got short-circuited by all that shit, you know?
She did get to host SNL because of this, and you know, the fanfare and the hoopla. She did host an episode, and it was the last season of Chris Farley and Adam Sandler. It was like that pan season, so she was a host on that. Yeah.
I do remember her being on it because they do a reference like the why, like in the opening.
Oh my god.
Oh, dirty, Steve. Shit gets dirty. You could be playing fucking foosball and there'd be somebody like trying to crack a skull or something if something didn't go their way, I guess.
Hey man, foosball can get ugly real quick.
Yeah, I hate that. Don't get me started about foosball. Fuck that game. Remember that table they had in that fucking Napoleon? Fuck that. I couldn't win a game on it, and fuck that table. Fuck that. It made me resent the game, Steve, if you can't tell.
Yo, fuck foosball as a record staff, as a label, and as a crew. And if you down with foosball, fuck you too.
I'm pissed now.
That following year in '95, House Guest premieres in theaters, starring Sinbad and Phil Hartman. Jeffrey Jones is in it too. And in hot water with mob over an unpaid debt, a con man poses as a family friend in an affluent Pennsylvania suburb.
I remember loving this movie. It had Philly Hartman in it. If you can't, that's a winner right away. You got it. With Sinbad on top of it, sprinkled on top. I don't remember the plot really. I just remember him trying to hide his identity a lot. And there's like there's a couple of Italian guys, I think, that are always like sort of tailing him and like threatening him in the movie. But
hey, what are you doing over here?
Yeah.
Who is the guy? Wasn't you in a different world?
2 more weeks, bud. We'll be back.
Man, don't you hate it, man, with these little Guidos be following you, man? I'm at the airport, man, I'm trying to make an arrival in Denver. Man, this little slick back dude, man,
We
gonna
can't
go
find you. You're the only guy wearing a full tracksuit, fucking windbreaker tracksuit, bud.
Man.
We know where you're at.
Man, I'm trying to get on the airport, man. I'm walking down the aisle. Man, stewardess had a big old booty. Don't you hate that, man? You walking behind the stewardess, big old booty. Booty so big. Man, I'm like, man, these little Guidos trying to trace me, man. Get you move your little booty, man. I'm trying to get down the aisle.
Man, I'm a dentist, man. That's what it was. He was trying to fake being like a dentist, I believe. He had to do a lot of like fake dentistry and shit too. So, another shout out I love to give Sinbad because he doesn't seem to get a lot of credit associated with it. When he was on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that might be one of his greatest performances of all time.
Jesus? You think you Jesus? Ain't no Jesus here. Except me, I'm Jesus.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
on Sinbad.
Please don't. And I hope he's still doing good. So shout out to a man who like 4 decades now, basically.
Yeah, man. He had some health scares, man, but he bounced back. I don't know if it was the C word, but I do remember him being in a hospital a couple years ago. But he's still with us, thank God. And once again, his episode of SNL was actually from a good season. I think Farley and Sandler were there, and I mean everything's on Peacock. They have the condensed versions, but check the Sinbad episode out if you can, man.
I think isn't there like a DC superhero thing in that where he's like,
yes, he's Black Lightning, and which apparently was an actual comic book, but they're at Superman's funeral. That's what it was, because it was the year that they released that issue of Superman dying, which was like 93. Yeah. So all these other performers, they're different superheroes, and he's Black Lightning, like nobody's ever heard of him. And he just signs off, like he leaves the funeral, he's like, all right, man, Black Lightning out, and everybody's just kind of like, oh,
who was that guy?
Yeah, but he comes back, he's like, Black Lightning out. All right. Love you, Sinbad.
I'm gonna wear
that
a
same day
in his honor, Steve. I didn't mean to interrupt with that idiotic statement, but
man, that's our thing. It's become our staple. We're off and on. It's double Dutch. Can I copy it? Man.
Zoom.
I was a good double Dutch guy, though, man. It was good for my cardio.
I could never figure it out. I don't know how to do it, so teach me. I'll be a 40-year-old white guy double Dutching. Please,
yeah, man. It's been a while, man. But hey, it's like getting back on a bike.
You think you can still double Dutch right now?
I'll be a little rusty, man. But give me a couple reps.
Okay, I got you all.
It's all rhythm based.
Set it up, double Dutch battle fucking dancing right now. Steve's there.
Bubblegum in a dish. How many? Man, it'll take me back, man.
God damn, I even had a flashback off that. That's crazy.
Man, I was blessed with some awesome cousins. But who probably didn't watch House Guests when it premiered on January 6, 1995, Matt?
Who?
Probably legendary coach Lenny Wilkins, because he was passing Red Auerbach to become NBA's all-time winningest coach. 939 career wins. The Hawks beat the Washington. What were they called? They were the Bullets, I believe, at the time, 112-90 at the Omni.
Lenny Wilkins. I mean, that guy was a beastly coach.
Former coach of the Cavs.
Just fucking killing it. Also, I love that Washington's team was at one point just named the Bullets.
Yeah, when they were the Bullets. Are you talking Chris Webber and Juwan Howard with who else was on that team?
I just love that they had that name. Like, they just went with the name, the Bullets. Like, I'd love an explanation on that. Was it just that it was a rough city, or?
That couldn't be the case, because that's why they had to change the shit. I think, because it's DC, Maybe there's some like patriotic shit involved.
Bullets.
Yeah.
America. But yeah, I don't remember the team. I mean, they became the Wizards, and that's when Jordan was on them.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were the Bullets probably they maybe mid
for the longest. They were Bullets longer than they were Wizards, I believe.
What are they now?
They're the Wizards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. I need to get back into basketball. Somebody get me back in. Give me somebody to root for. I guess I'll have to root for the Cavs, but
you should, man. They're doing well.
Well, I don't want to watch football anymore. I'm salty. So, but shout out to Sidetrack Sally. Shout out to Lenny Wilkins because he's a legend.
Yeah, man.
Motherfucker coached the shit out of the Hawks.
And he actually did coach the Cavs when they were good, like well before the LeBron years. This is the Mark Price, Craig Elo, Brad Daugherty, Larry Nance, Hot Rod Williams.
Dude,
coaching
Mark
really
Price,
good teams.
dude. Mark Price just looking like a toddler out there, but just draining threes.
Yeah. He's got him and Steve Kerr. They had like this. Oh, I'm just the kid from next door, but I'm a fucking sniper, bitch.
Like fuck.
Yeah, I love it. Don't leave me wide open. Yeah, I look all cute and innocent, Dennis the Menace and shit. I probably have a cowlick from time to time, but fucking, I can pop from the arc.
Yeah, dude. That was actually the guy. I mean, Mark Price made the Cavs famous for a while, like in the 90s. I had a lot of Mark Price cards and shit. I used to be like, maybe I could be a basketball player if he can.
Bro, if you can shoot, that's the thing that they can never take away from you, man. You know, yes, your leaping ability will go over time. Your speed will go over time. But man, if you got a wicked jump shot, fucking, that's the key of the game. Knowing how to get that ball in that bitch.
Yeah, dude. What was that guy, Ray? What was his name? The dude that
Ray
was
Allen?
Ray Allen, dude. That guy killed my hopes and dreams so many times. Him and Robert Horry. I just remember guys with like those like shots where it was just like, please don't pass to that guy in the last second. Oh,
yeah.
They just broke your heart again.
And why is he open? Of all fucking people
Yeah,
on the
right?
floor. I never got that about Robert Horry. Okay, you got 3 seconds left. You're up 2. First and foremost,
Yeah.
let's make sure this guy that's hanging
Put
out
3
here
guys on that dude, please.
Yeah.
They're down by 2. If he hits us with the 3, it's I mean, he did it so many times that like when it was happening, you were like, oh, here it goes again.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ. So I don't know where we spiraled into that, but talking about Mark Price being a badass. But yeah, I just like seeing like short men be basketball players. It does give regular people hope, but I didn't have that shot, Steve. Never had that good J. It wasn't reliable.
You didn't give yourself a shot, Matt. Let's be honest. You took yourself out the game before you had a chance to be put in the game.
You already ended it.
You subbed yourself out. Coach, I want out.
I can't do it, coach. You don't want me out there right now. Take me out the game.
The championship game, Matt. Man, on January 6, 1998, Home Improvement is airing the episode The Old College Try. Tim starts to believe that his old friends are boring after he has the opportunity to teach an auto shop class at a local college. So he starts hanging out with the people from the class, people half his age. Damn, Tim. I don't think so, Tim. Why?
I don't think so. Yeah, this is it's kind of close to home, Steve, because we're getting old. And this episode, it just starts off, you know, everything's great. Like this thing that bothers me about this show is Tim the Toolman Taylor. The life this man is leading, you should be grateful every day of your life. You got a TV show, you got a house, you got a fucking hot rod in the garage. I mean, you're
hot mom.
Exactly. Jill, unspoken hottie of the 90s. She's like the MILF next door, you know, like if it gets a little rocky, you might just be able to snag a little Jill. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
This opening scene, man, she's showing body and she's not even revealing. You could just tell like there's the shape and like how the shirt was coming down off of the breasts, and it just like, okay, mama. Mama Taylor. Okay. I see.
Hey, Jill.
Yeah. When Tim heading off for tool time?
Bam, 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 bam.
You got time for my tools, Mama Taylor?
I wanna get next to you. But Tim's coming in with some good news, Steve, because he just got a call from the local community college, Wayne County Community College.
Yeah.
And they want him to do a 12-week course on automotive repair.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a teacher. And even Jill's like, isn't that your job? Like that's your show, isn't it? You're teaching people. And he's like, that's entertainment, Jill. I don't know what I'm doing. That's
I'm just doing
says.
Yeah, I'm just wish.com Bob Vila.
Exactly. But Jill's like, go for it. Be a teacher. Do this. And Tim actually is, maybe Tim the toolman tailor can be Tim the classroom tailor, Steve.
Or like the Everest guy and just starts goading all of his friends into going back to college, or at least come to Wayne County Community College. You're just sitting there giving advice to your neighbors, hiding your face behind a fence, Wilson. What else are you doing with your life?
Well, Tim, I'll tell you, I'm here burying dead bodies behind this fence.
Yeah, so
I'm too busy.
Yeah. He lived a wild life, that Wilson. And, we cut to the scene and he's already in the class. What a quick turnaround. And he says, we're going to teach the most important thing about the car. And the student named Brett, he's like, what about the back sheet?
He's got a lot of ragamuffins in this class, but these troublemakers, everyone in this class is like in their 30s. Really, they might have a varsity jacket, but maybe they stole it off of a dead body or something because they're way too old.
Oh yes, these children are no less than 25, and I recognize a couple of them. The brother behind me, he was in Sister Sister. He played one of the twins' boyfriends, and the guy sitting next to him, he was in episodes. Yeah, flat top guy who's named Grant. The brother's named Billy and Grant is flat top, and he was also in Sister Sister. And his name was Steve.
Steve, you're in every show, but it's not
pretty
you.
much. There's a Steve in all of these shows that we cover in this decade, whether it's just a one-off character or a recurring character. I promise you, it was a popular boyfriend name in the 90s. Just ask DJ Tanner.
Well, the guys, Steve, whoever he's playing, these guys are all, they're trying to, do the thing. They're the troublemakers. And Tim's trying to follow this rubric for the class because that's what you're supposed to do. And one of the guys, I think it's a black dude's like, when does Tim the Toolman Taylor ever follow instructions at all? That's your thing. What the fuck? And Tim doesn't seem to realize he's the teacher and he really can dictate whatever he wants. And he realizes that through the chidings of these people in the class that have lost their job and are trying to recover from a divorce at 30 something. Because these guys are old. It's weird.
Yeah. But Grant, he's like, man, you never followed instructions when you fell into the porta potty.
I mean, here's my thing. How are all these people watching the show? Because at this point, it seems like everybody knows this guy and he should be way richer than he is if everybody knows Tim the Toolman Taylor. But he's out here at a community college. He's teaching classes when Bob Vila is out slapping asses and, fixing up houses and shit.
But here's the thing, though, Matt. Is Tool Time nationally syndicated or is this a local? Because, we all know national, that's a bigger bag. So, yeah, if that's the case, yeah, I'm with you, man. But if it's local, yeah, he's probably got to pick up.
These college kids are watching home improvement shows. I wasn't doing that. I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? He's on a TV show, whatever, but they clearly idolized Tim the Toolman Taylor and he's drinking it in, Steve.
We're also not into auto mechanic shit. Never was.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. But sometimes you got to take a class. It's community college. Sometimes you just need a credit. That's what I'm saying. These guys are all very much into the class. So that, but they do embrace Tim the Toolman Taylor. They convince him to do his own class and just roll up your sleeves and teach us let's do some hands-on shit. Don't teach us this theory shit. And that speaks to the man. And he also, like you said, maybe he's feeling a little old. Maybe he's feeling a little in a rut. So he's got to hang out with these kids, getting into it, and maybe turn those tables around a little bit.
Yeah, it's time to get greasy. We come back to the Taylor household. It's Randy, Mark, and Jill. And JTT, he's starting to look like Val Kilmer, season 7.
Yeah, I didn't realize how late this was in the show, and this is when it gets kind of weird because Mark's starting to look. I think he's a goth. Maybe we're getting into that aspect of it. Maybe he hasn't reached goth status, but
yeah, he's there, and he's also taller than his older brother, who's still like picking on him, calling a geek, which also makes it even more weird. It's like I get it. He's the little brother, but the little brother's bigger than the bigger brother, who's calling him a dork and geek, and all while being like 2 feet shorter than him.
Yeah, and Brad's voice has dropped to the point where he's just like a low baritone. So he's like, "Hey, nerd." It's like, who the fuck is Pavarotti's back there? Fucking, hey, fucking geek. So it gets a little weird in that respect. But hey, everyone's getting older, not least of which is Tim. And maybe that's wearing on him because these kids, he's starting to like drink it into the point. He's drinking the Kool-Aid because he shows up the next day and he's just like, I love being a teacher. I love school.
Found a new lease on life, guys. I got some chili. Want to try the chili? I guess he's going to have a poker game at the house later. And, he's got his chili. He can't wait to share with his boys his new lease on life of being a teacher. He's playing poker with his boys, Al Borland, Wilson, Benny, and Harry, played by Blake Clark, fucking legend.
Is that the Adam Sandler guy?
That is the Adam Sandler guy.
Okay,
fucking Farmer Fran. Sean's dad in Boy Meets World. And there's probably the most cringe-worthy or tear-jerking episode of Boy Meets World, when he dies. But Blake Clark. I'm surprised he doesn't have a huge career in voice acting.
Oh, I'm sure he has to. We probably just don't watch the shows. But that guy, he's been around. I didn't really clock. I did watch Boy Meets World, but I kind of forgot he was in that shit too. That guy's, Adam Sandler took that guy on his back and he went along that, gravy train for a while because he was in Waterboy. He was probably in all the fucking movies if you look, but that guy was a fucking legend.
Well, the only animation that I saw in his career was it 8 Crazy Nights? Is that what it's called? Dude, with his voice, you would think it would have like a long look. He was the Slinky Dog as well because he replaced Ernest. You're right. They both have that gravity, but even then, like I feel like he should have more because of his voice, man. It's unique, man.
You hear that? We got to write this guy apart, Steve. What gravelly voice character can we write for this guy?
Thangman.
And Thangman. That's all we need.
Big old thing. Got a big old thing. Got a big old thing. Big old thing. Big thing. We love some Blake Clark. Now Tim's telling the guys that how he's found a new lease on life, teaching the kids at the community college, and they get the cracking jokes. The Seymour Butts, jockstrap. Have you gotten any of those? Or my favorite, KO Pectate. So he does a little census around the table when he asks them, like, "Oh, you guys thinking about community college? You want to go back to school?" He's just being the Everest guy for this moment. And, Al, he has no interest in going to school whatsoever. Benny, he doesn't even pay rent. He mooches off of his aunt. And Wilson is Wilson. What the fuck are you going to teach Wilson? He knows more than the school. The schools need to be taught by Wilson.
Yeah, right. And they're all just giving very old sounding opinions. And it's getting to Tim. You can see he's like, man, those kids are a lot cooler than these fucking chumps.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? Why are you going to a poker game? Like, hey, you guys want to fucking go back to community college? Like, no, fuck no. Deal, dude. Fuck.
Yeah. He's got the game fucked up, Matt. He's got dude, exactly. Like, what?
You get paid for every student you bring to the fucking school? Like, what the fuck's going on here? I'm just trying to hang out.
Man, I'm trying to get some beer and titty money at your kitchen table, motherfucker. Don't talk to me about going to some courses, motherfucker. My college days are done. Done.
I can't get a loan. I already have student loan debt, Tim. Sorry,
Shit.
Tim. We don't all got TV shows.
Now pass that damn chili you was talking about. Shit.
Yeah, hook that up. So what was it called? Mucho Macho Chili?
Yeah.
Would you eat that? Would you eat something Tim the Toolman Taylor cooked, Steve? I think because I feel like it would have gasoline or some shit in it.
Yeah, I'm not eating anything from a guy who calls himself Toolman.
He's not like that, Steve. He's not like that.
Yeah, but he is trying to be cool, and I don't know, like he's not cool with who he is, man. I never. Here's the thing, man. When you're always the oldest person in group settings, I feel like you're doing something wrong. If you're the oldest or wisest person at all times, like, dude, you need to find some new groups to be around. I don't like being the old guy all the time. And to be honest with you, the whole time I've been in Atlanta, I like whether I'm going to get my hair cut, whether I'm just out at the bar, like, damn, I'm better off staying home. Like, I don't like, I need to learn from people, and I need people to be, you know what I mean? Like if I'm always, and it sounds cocky as fuck, but if I'm always like the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
I just don't like feeling like I have to give advice to people all the time. Like sometimes you get into a situation, you're just like listening to people's problems, and it's like, and honestly, I'm not the best person to be giving advice anyway, but I feel like that's where it's almost like a chore sometimes to go out and do that shit, you know?
You've given me advice, man. It's like you can give advice on things that you're like hip to, that you know, just from like us living life, from our experiences, man. And but in general though, man, if I feel like I always have to play the sage role, like when I don't know everything, man, but like, and because I don't know everything, like I need to be around people who enrichen my fucking soul and my mental. But Tim doesn't believe that's the case.
Yeah, he wants to hang out with you. And honestly, like the logic here of being a guy, I don't care what age he is. He's probably like in his 40s in the show, but like the idea of being somebody that age and hanging out with, like, I guess these guys are like college freshmen or sophomores or something.
Yeah.
No, that sounds like the worst idea. Invite these kids over to my house? Huh? Hang out after hours? Like this is a job. You know, like I would not be like, maybe I'm gonna hang out with Billy and them. Go hang out at the fucking hamburger stand. No,
but
I got chili back home.
These students do really think he's cool, though, man. They invite him to Carmine's for pizza after class because they think he really sounds like that Buzz Lightyear toy. And Tim, and then Tim later he invites the students back to his house like he's goddamn Mr. Wizard. And he shows off the '65 Nomad. But Brett thinks it doesn't. He won't beat his Firebird.
You can't take me off the line, Teach.
Yeah.
Which at this point, first of all, Tim agrees to go in a drag race.
A drag race.
So, okay. But then the guy has the audacity, because not only is he trying to impress these kids now, he's revving his engine at whatever time it is. He wakes his wife up. He tells her he's going on a drag race, and she doesn't slap him in the face or like yell at him. She accepts it too. So I don't get that.
But she does question him, like, bro, don't you kind of have to be up in the morning to teach these same kids? Like, what are you doing?
And he's like, no, I'm energized. This youthful energy. It's giving me this newfound lust for life, I guess, whatever it is. And he says he can do it. And then it just sort of, I guess he goes on a drag race. I think that's what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, they just kind of glossed over that because they cut to the next morning when Tim is preparing breakfast, and Randy asks, like, how are you getting all of this energy? Hanging out with the students late, drag racing, and looking like their chaperone everywhere y'all go. Randy, you don't want to know what I was doing before home improvement.
I used to sell to kids like this.
Yeah, and I still got my stash when I was released. I'm not going to tell you where it's at.
But they are actually, you know, he does have to go to work at Tool Time. And then we cut to the next episode of Tool Time, which is Tim and Al in some bathroom. I forget the name of the family, but they got to clear some clogged pipes, Steve. And they invite their friend, I forget his name.
Felix Myman, played by Al Fan. And Al Fan, I remember him from an episode of Martin. He played a contractor, I believe. He was in the episode where Gina had her head stuck in the fucking
oh yeah, hell yeah,
the bedpost, I believe. And he was the guy that like helped weld her out. I believe that was the episode. I do remember him from an episode. I think that was the one. But you know, he wants to go the old school way and use a snake to get it out. But fucking Tim has other plans. He's got the Master Blaster, and the Master Blaster does exactly that. It blasts the master bathroom apart.
Yeah, because even the Felix says, you know, if you put, these are old pipes, you can't put air down old pipes because it'll make them blow up. So I got to do this the old school way. It may take a little time, but the old way is the best way. So let's do it. And like you know, Tim can't hear that. For one, he just loves everything that's powered up. But two, he's going through an existential crisis right now, hanging out with these kids. And he's like, fuck all this old bullshit. You got a drag race at 10 p.m. Fuck this shit. I got chili.
Shit. See me next week. I'll have a part in my head with a high top fade. What's up, Felix?
So Felix has to go get some other part. And while he's out, Tim just fucking jams that air compressor down there, and he literally, like, from what it appears, he destroys the house. Like completely destroys the fucking house, because it seems like it's about to implode before they cut away. So he lives, thankfully.
Like the Chris Jericho theme song, the fucking walls got broken down.
And I love Felix in this though, because he comes back right when Tim's doing like the air thing, and he's like, "Oh, I've seen this before." And they're like, "What do we do?" And he's like, "I'm gonna go AWOL," and he just runs away. So I love that shit.
Shit, I try to tell your ass.
Dumb motherfucker.
No, we cut back to the Taylor house, and Grant and Brett, they come in with their girlfriends, Andy and Christy, and they just love the decor. The 1980s furniture, it gives it that retro feel. And Jill reminds one of the girls of their mother. Fucking assholes.
Yeah, I mean, fuck these people. But also, I just got to go back because I just saw a note here, and Felix lays in a great line in this episode where he says that he actually had a show, and it was called Pipe Styles of the Rich and Famous. And I just thought that was a great line. And it was also a great title for a porno movie, if nothing else. So
you know how my mind works, Matt. Don't give me ideas.
But then, yeah, Tim has these kids over with their girlfriends, and they are acting rude as fuck. I mean, the retro thing, I get it. That's fine. But they do, like, saying you remind me of my mom to somebody. I mean, god damn, bitch. Like, have some decorum. Have some fucking class.
Some couth.
And then they start blasting fucking a fucking case of beers, dude.
Just suds on the table. And Jill asks, do you need coasters? Oh, no, we're okay. We're like, and you know, we were young, we were in college, but man, I think we both knew better. We were raised
you don't bring out some fucking beers in a bag at a fucking teacher's house and just start fucking gooning them. That's not, I mean, at least pour it into a glass. I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Have some fucking class, kids. And this chick on the right with the blonde hair, she's the main one. I didn't care for her, Steve.
I didn't care for any of these damn kids. Fuck these kids.
So, but they, you know, they don't get kicked out, but you can tell like Tim's all like he's getting irked. The old man's coming out because he doesn't say anything right away. I'd be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? So that doesn't happen. And we cut to like after they eat the dinner, and Jill is like kind of also feeling some love from them because they actually eat her disgusting food. And she's like, I can't believe anybody actually ate this. That never happens. But then these kids, being the douchebags they are, interrupt the dinner and they fuck dessert. There's a keg party happening, Steve. It's in the hotline. I don't remember how they figured this out. Like maybe he made a call, but there's a keg party in Ypsilanti, Steve.
Yeah. Brett gets a beep on his pager. That's what it was.
That's it. 911 kegger. Fucking kegger. Maybe some Fremont people were hanging out because this seems very much the energy of our college days, Steve. Hey, there's a kegger going on in fucking Akron. Let's go to the middle of a field.
Well, I will say that there are good times to be had in Ypsilanti. It's where Eastern Michigan is located. My cousin went there, and I visited him a couple times. And our buddy Ron, his ex-girlfriend was going there at the time, so he would go visit his girlfriend. I'd go chill with my cousin. We go out, and yeah, man, Ypsilanti, even though it's in that state up north.
Go emu, go. I just thought it was hilarious when you go to their football games, they're just saying emu a lot. It's like,
but their mascot isn't even an emu.
Yeah, I mean, you fucked up. What are you guys doing?
Fucking Eastern, that state up north university.
It's like Voldemort. Do they have legal weed in Michigan, Steve? Because that's the only thing that can make them worth it. I think they do.
Man. They do, man. I've been to their dispensaries. I couldn't purchase, but they allow you to come in. And you
couldn't because you were out of state.
Well, because I didn't have the license. My buddy who I was with, he had a license, and I went in there with him while he bought the stuff, man. And wow, thank you, Detroit. I love you, Detroit.
I don't, but
sports shit aside, I respect Detroit. It's Motown, it's Martin Payne, WZUP. What's up?
I will say this: Detroit, the way they have their sports center structured now, it's fun to go to because Ford Field's cool. Back in the day, Tiger Stadium. I went to Tiger Stadium. I saw Cecil Fielder play fucking baseball and shit.
Yeah.
The old Cecil Fielder, not the young one. But I mean, Detroit, you can get into a lot of trouble in Detroit. Let's put it like that.
You could get a lot of bullets in Detroit.
But not where Tim the Toolman Taylor lives, Steve. And he's where they're going to a cake party, and he's like, "Wait, guys, we got dessert. You guys are you're just gonna leave us here?" And they're like, "No, man, come with us." And he's like, "No." Finally, he comes to his senses and is like, "You fucking kidding me?
These kids are idiots.
I got a fucking lemon cake over here. We're trying to eat this. I'm not going to a cake party in Ypsilanti."
Yeah, and you guys are totally ignoring the fact that it's a Tuesday night and we have 3 underage sons living with us. No, the fuck we will not go to Ypsilanti. I don't care how close it is or how fast you're going to drive.
Yeah, just get out. So they leave, and Tim's finally like, "Oh," Joe's like, "Oh, they were nice." He's like, "Yeah, if you like fucking asshole douchebags," basically. And he kind of realizes, he's like, "You know what? I think I am an old man." Also, he does mention that he has to go to small claims court in the morning because of the issue he had with the pipes. Wow. So he couldn't go to the cake party anyway because he got to go see he's going to go see what kind of bill he has to pay for ruining somebody's life, I guess. But
I'm sure he frequented those small claims courts for various reasons.
So he probably has a lot of like medical malpractice based on stuff that he's done to himself, like maybe some shit like that. But who knows? I think he's covered. He's got that Detroit whatever local cable access TV money, because
PBS, and they're going to pay top dollar to keep shit on the hush hush, man. And plus he's got Wilson, just like, oh yeah, just tell him that you were having amnesia and you forgot you were Tim. He just has all the fucking answers.
He's like, Tim's back there like later that day, like, I just don't know how I'm going to pay this, Wilson. They say I got to pay in 30 days. And Wilson's just over the fence like, I could kill him, right? I'll do that for you. Yeah. Oh, okay, Wilson. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. That's what I think. I think Wilson's hiding out. He doesn't show his face. And I think maybe Wilson was involved in some mob shit in Detroit back in the day. That's my
thing. What they say? No face, no case.
Steve, are you about to be like a local defense attorney? Because that's a great.
I don't know, man. Should I be?
You don't even know what I look like, Tim. I could do whatever I want. I will do whatever I want. Wilson, I'm scared. You should be.
I know where you live.
That's like that's the reboot of this show like now. We're gonna make a offshoot that's just Wilson. It's like Dexter. He's just killing Detroit scumbags. Like what's that Denzel movie where he's just an old guy beating everyone's ass? The Peacemaker. I forget what the fuck it was called. Fucked up the reference. My bad.
Yeah, probably a Denzel movie I wouldn't want to watch anyways.
You know, I have a very specific set of skills to.
He does
making hot toddies.
Man, I know where to hide bodies. Lottie dotties.
Dizzy Gillespie.
That following year, though, January 6, 1999, Bob Newhart receives a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as he should.
I actually hung out with somebody who didn't even know who that was, and it made me sick to my stomach.
See, that's what happened when you hang around young people. I'm sure it had to be a young person.
Yes, it was. And I was just like, you didn't really nothing? I mean, I remember 2 fucking shows where it was just called Bob Newhart, basically. I think one of them was called the Bob Newhart Show.
Bob Newhart Show, and then Newhart in the 80s with Daryl and Daryl.
Was that the one? Where's the one that he had like a inn?
That was Newhart, the 80s version with Peter Scolari. And then Bob Newhart is when he was a psychiatrist back in like the 60s, 70s.
Dude, is he still alive?
He's still with us. I was just going to say, man, 2021 was a bitch. It took some G's, some real ones, some legends. It took Cicely Tyson. It took Ed Asner. It took Betty White at the last chance. And those were like obvious choices because they were up there in their ages, man. But Bob Newhart, man, still with us.
God damn. And I think I saw him in something recently. So he's still working too and killing it. So
yeah,
if you're too young to know who Bob Newhart is, please get your head out of your ass and look it up because he's hilarious. And it's not just the guy from Elf. Please.
And that same day, though, an agreement is reached by the NBA and the Players Union to end a 204-day lockout, which shortened the season by 50 games. I lost interest in the NBA this time, and it didn't kick back until I want to say LeBron got drafted. I had a newfound interest for the fact that there was the star born in Ohio, and he's supposed to be like the guy. But yeah, this happened in 99. And I was like, dude, you guys are millionaires. How much more do you want to make? And we, the fans, had to pay for it. We didn't get the full NBA season, man. I
don't remember that ruining it for me, but maybe it did because that's what ruined baseball too. You get like when it goes away, you just kind of start not giving a fuck. But is that how you feel though? Like when they do these things, it's like you're already making enough money. Like fuck this shit.
I used to, but as I got older, I respect it now because I know how much these owners make. And I mean, shit, if these guys are asking for 90 million, 100 million, shit, these owners are billionaires. And I didn't realize at the time how much a billion really was, man. So if a motherfucker, that's like, if you're a billionaire and someone's asking you for 50, 60 million, that's like you or me breaking somebody off with like $5.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I still don't want to give that $5 because this $5 is my money, but I've done it because I didn't sweat it when I did do it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like my opinion of it changed a lot because they do make a lot of an absurd. When you think about how much you make and have to like just deal with and know that somebody gets to just like kind of play a game and make a shit ton of money, it does suck a little bit. But at the same time, it's like you said, like when you know, even like the company you work for makes millions of dollars off your back, and then you don't see any sort of return on it at all. Like you got to get every fucking cent you can. So I changed like that too. It didn't make me really enjoy the sports anymore, but when somebody like on the Steelers tries to get paid and they're a good player, it's like, okay, yeah, pay the motherfucker. Everybody else gets that money. So eventually that just has to happen. And I don't remember this specific thing, but it does. I mean, it seems like it always, like every 5 years or so, one league's having a problem like this.
Yeah, man. And this was also the first season without Jordan. The Bulls dynasty had broken up, and so it was losing Jordan, who was the guy who got me interested in basketball, and then like seeing these millionaires asking for more money because they're not getting paid enough. But I would still like keep in touch with like who's the best, like when playoff time came around, like I was still like, okay, the Lakers are good now, the Spurs are good now, and the Spurs were actually the champions this year, this shortened season. This was their first championship. It was Tim Duncan's second year. Robinson was still there. They had Sean Elliott, really good team, and Steve Kerr. And but as I get older, like we both said, man, I respect free agents and what they're doing. A lot of people talk shit about LeBron and how he ruined the game. But I look at that decision as this, man. Let's say your boss can only dictate your future, and you think you're applicable for this job right now, a position that pays more, and you want to do it right now. But your boss can only tell you when you can apply. You're not ready for that. Even though like, man, I got the credentials, I can get more money right now. It's just the same, man. Like the free agents now, like we don't have that. We didn't have this happening back in the 90s, man. But now, like you see these free agents telling, like, no, my buddy is over here. I want to play with him. I think we can win. And they're offering more money. So it's no different than somebody being able to just get on Indeed whenever they can, man.
It's a good way to put it too. It's like they just figured that out. They applied because like for a while you just couldn't do that. Like it wasn't structured like that. No. Like they started to be at like the unions actually got the ability to start making some of these decisions. Because like football, that was like unheard of, and now that's basically the case for like even if you're on contract, you're like, nah, I'm just gonna sit out. I'll come back next year. They're starting to make moves like that. So it's crazy, man. They figured it out a little bit. But even like, saying that, like the owners are still getting fucking, it's like it's a bloodbath. They're taking like 99% of that money, and it's a lot of fucking money in some of these.
They are. They're getting the ticket fees. They're getting the television deals. They're getting to cut off those games on Sunday Night Football and shit. The merchandise with these players' names on it. So, more information you amass, man. It's like, dude, I get it, because these guys are employees too.
I think you figured out why I stopped watching basketball, which probably happened a lot at this time when Jordan stopped playing. I think a lot of people had like this melancholy about basketball. Like this legend's gone. Like it just felt kind of empty after he was gone. I was just a huge fan. I wasn't really a fan of a team per se, because I came from Pennsylvania and I wasn't really a Sixers fan. So I didn't really have a team. I just like players and shit. And I mean, I think that was the case for a lot of people, especially with Jordan. It was just like this dude that was just a fucking, you were watching like history be made all the time off this guy. It was crazy.
It was the end of an era, and the Chicago Bulls, you could say, were the team of the 90s of all sports. And the fact that he left, Rodman, he went elsewhere. Pippen, he went to Houston. Phil Jackson, he stepped out for a minute, man. And it's like, who can we follow now? Like, what superstars left?
Yeah, unless you lived in Chicago, it was like, now got to pick another team, got to do something else now. I forget what, like, I really feel like that's kind of why I stopped paying attention to basketball for a while. I mean, there was legends still. Like, I mean, like you said, David Robinson, those like Tim Duncan and shit. Like David Robinson, there's a guy I used to just think was a badass too. That guy was a beast.
The Admiral.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Well, any callbacks, takeaways, honorable mentions, shit like that?
I just want to, I had something, but just now I have to think, just say that we have to do some sort of a top 10 neighbors of the 90s and figure out categorically who the greatest neighbor of the 90s is, Steve. There's got to be like some sort of award given that we need to figure out. So
yeah,
the weight's on our shoulders.
Maybe in kind of like a TV Land Awards happened in the 90s awards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We gotta have a theme song like "You're the best neighbor of the 90s." Yeah. That's just a tester, but we'll work off that. But I think it's a good idea, and I'm curious to see who because I forgot about Shanae. So how many neighbors am I forgetting about? I'm scared, quite frankly.
Man, yeah, got to go through the mental Rolodex, man. But speaking of awards, man, I watched B3F's latest episode, and they have a year-end season episode where they're handing out awards to best guest, least best guest. There are about a handful of awards, and we were nominated, man. We were nominated for best guest. We didn't win. We didn't win, but they show so much love, and they give us shout outs and stuff. The fact that we were nominated and mentioned, and no offense to the people who won. I wish you the best, and that your children grow up to be productive citizens in society. No shade, but we will be back on B3F at some point. And if we don't get on their 3 the Hard Way episode, I say we riot Jeff Fisher's house.
Okay, I'm in. Maybe we shouldn't have recorded that, but whatever. You heard.
Hey, it's almost the anniversary of the Capitol riot, so shit. This year we're going to do Jeff Fisher if we don't get on an episode of B3F's 3 the Hard Way, because they're based out of Tennessee, so that's why. Either that or Peyton Manning's house. But yeah, man, this time around Golden Girls is available. We're going to talk about them at some point, man, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say RIP, rest in paradise, to the late great Betty White. 2021 was a punk, man. You couldn't let her make it to 100. But maybe she saw something in 2022. She was like, no, take me off this ride. But
she took on the L for all of us, Steve. She sacrificed ourselves to make 2022 a great year instead of this bullshit that we've all been living through. That's what I want to believe.
Man,
she was like, it's my time. If I go, the world gets to go back to normal in 2022. So let's believe that. And shout out to Betty White, who for decades, I didn't even realize how long. My wife kind of reminded me how far back she went, but like one of the funniest women of all time.
Of all time, man.
There's no argument.
Yeah.
One of the funniest people of all time. Fuck women. One of the funniest people of all time. Is one of the longest, greatest careers of all time, too. So RIP, Betty. You were
the queen of TV, they call her, man. The grand dame of television. Rightfully so. But yeah, man, I miss doing this with you, buddy. We took a week off, and dude, season 2, we're here, man.
We made it, dude. A full year of this, and we're in season 2. So I'm happy to do it, Steve. I didn't like not doing it for a week. I missed you, but like we said, 2021's been just a rough one. We needed a week just to recharge.
Yeah,
man,
so, we did hit them 51 weeks straight, man. My pride wouldn't allow me to let that week go. Like, we got to do something. Well, I promised the people 52 weeks, and then it just no. Let's take a week off. Yeah,
but I really do enjoy doing this. So I look forward to 2022. A lot of the things we're talking about doing behind the scenes, I know we're going to bring a lot more to the table this year. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and tell your mom about us. This is Steve G and Matt G with season 2 of Happening in the 90s. Why?